name's Chris. I don't usually put stuff on the internet. See, I have my notes here, and I'm worried I'm gonna forget about some of the stuff that I want to say. Yeah, I'm just really friggin' nervous right now. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with just like an intro, and then just kind of I have to tell you guys some things that you should know before we continue. And then in the hopes of maybe loosening up a bit, I'll just tell you some random stuff about myself. It's not even really important. Just try to relax. Okay, so you might hear some background noise, so hopefully that won't be a problem. Yeah, so this is just going to be the first video. This is part one. There'll be like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 parts, I'm not sure. And I'm hoping to record them all like in one day. So it's, I don't know what date it is. It's July something or other, 2025. Yeah, I feel like I can't think or talk. Okay, so I don't care who sees this. I don't care how few people or how many. I basically just want to get this out there. Things will become clear as we go forward. I just want to make sure there's at least an epitaph. Not that I'm going to do anything, I'm okay, but I just you'll see. Okay, so where should I start? Okay, so I just recently made the decision. Basically, like the way I want to live my life going forward is that 5 years from now, I'm in the doctor's office and he tells me you have 6 months and you should get your affairs in order. And so what I want is, so on that day, if it comes, I walk out of the doctor's office and I walk out of that building and I go to the nearest park. And hopefully it'll be a nice day. And the sun will be shining and the birds will be singing. And I'll be able to know in that moment when I'm sitting on that park bench that I lived my life the way that I wanted to, that I was a good person rather than a bad person. I helped people rather than hurting people. I didn't chase after money or power or other things. So that's what I need to know, that's what I'm going to say if I'm ever sitting on that park bench, and hopefully it will be a nice day. Yeah, so yeah, this is really, really nerve-wracking for me because I never talked to anyone. So now I'm going to talk to everyone. And I never say anything. So now I'm going to say everything. That's not literally true. I mean, it's actually crazy how much stuff I'm not going to tell you, what I won't, can't, shouldn't tell you. It's actually nuts how much stuff I'm not going to be able to tell you, even just like over the past stuff that's happened in the past 5 years, which is largely what these videos are going to be about. But of course, there's all sorts of lore that's going to be it's going to remain unknown. I won't talk about it. And, thinking about that park bench, one of the things I was thinking in preparation for making these videos is I need to know, like, I'll ask myself, do you regret having said any of those things that you said in those videos? And the answer has to be no. And I'm the sort of person, I've been really private, and I don't really want to, I certainly don't put shit on the internet. So, but at this point, like, I just kind of, don't give a shit. Like, you'll find out why. Okay, so I've spent a lot of time in my head, like a significant percentage of my life I've spent in my head. And, I'm never going to be like, I'm not like homeless or whatever. I'm sort of, in my life, I've been sort of quasi functional. I managed to like finish, school and stuff like that. Like, I am capable of functioning in society on a basic level, or at least historically I have been. The last few years, kind of not. But anyways, you'll hear more about that. But like, I've realized, like, I'm never really going to be like a very practical person. I'm never going to be like useful or productive, the way that like normal people are. Because I've lived so much of my life in my head, and I'm just not a very practical person. But I have, I've spent time thinking and feeling, and there's some things that I think I figured out, and I think they might be useful to you. Yeah. So, so some things you should know just going forward. Okay, so my mind, I'm sort of a scatterbrain, I guess that would be the term. Like, the way my mind works, it's sort of disorganized and dysfunctional, and so there will be times when it seems like I'm jumping around a lot, and maybe digressing. I'm not really going to be digressing, but I'm going to be jumping around a lot, and there's a point to it, and it's going in a direction, and a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, they're actually, it'll make sense. It'll come together. Yeah. So another thing, some of the things I'm going to talk about, not in this video, but in some future videos that I film. Hopefully I can get them all done today. Some of these videos are going to be, I guess, like, they're going to be age restricted at some point. I guess if they'll be like flagged or whatever, because of some of the topics that I'm going to talk about. Yeah. So, I told myself before I was doing this, but when I was planning to do this, like, I'm not going to give any trigger warnings, but I guess this is sort of a trigger warning in a sense. If you'll find out, the things that are, I guess, going to make future videos age restricted, you'll know them when you hear them. And my trigger warning is that if you're sensitive to those sorts of topics, then you're exactly the person that needs to hear what I'm going to say. So my trigger warning for you is not, if you're sensitive, then turn off the video. My trigger warning to you is you're going to be okay. Okay, if you're the sort of person that has experienced some of those things, you're going to be okay. So you've got to listen to me. Yeah, if I get like too emotional, by the way, I'm walking off the fucking camera. no, I'm not even gonna pause and like edit this fucking shit later. Like I will literally like just walk off for like a minute or something and compose myself. Okay. Yeah. So this some of these videos will probably get age restricted. If there's any if these videos or any parts of them, if you think that they're at all useful, because like I said, I'm not going to be productive. I'm not going to be useful, like in the normal sense of the word. I'm never going to like get rich or make a six-figure salary. So like this is basically it. This is sort of like what I have to contribute for what it's worth. So if there's anything in these videos that you think is useful, like I want you to steal this video, okay? Like I want like take sections of it, upload it, whatever, post it wherever people post stuff. Steal this video, steal anything that you think is valuable. Just take it, like put it on your channel, whatever. Okay, that's what I want. I just want this. I just want this to get out. So okay, my extensive notes here. Okay, so like there's going to be like at least a couple of themes in these videos. So one of them is like I said, a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about, they're connected. I think that a lot of things in life, in your life, they're connected. And so it's going to seem like the things that I'm talking about, sometimes it might seem disjointed. I might like sort of have 3 or 4 different things that I say, and you're going to wonder like what the connection is. But I hope I'm going to be able to tie it together, and it's going to make sense. Yeah. Okay. Like another thing, one of the things that I've sort of an opinion that I have with just the stuff that I've been thinking about and everything. I think that people think like people think that they want like money, or they want power or fame or sex or whatever, or like things or something. I don't know what people like, like sports cars or something. And I think that ultimately people are governed by their hearts. I think the reason why you do things and what motivates you, I think like it's more about what's on the inside of you than what's on the outside. I'm sure a lot of people already know that, but I just sort of explicitly figured it out, in the last, I don't know, year or something like that. I just think people are ultimately governed by their hearts, and that's another thing. Certainly, I am, and that's another thing that's going to kind of come up. It's a theme I think that's running through the stuff that I want to talk about. Okay, so I feel slightly less nervous than I did when I pressed record. Okay, so warm up. I'm just going to try and talk about some basic stuff. It's not an extensive list or anything. It's just to kind of warm myself up or loosen myself up. So I'm 45. I consider myself a young Xer. That was my cultural experience. So, I was a boy in the 80s and a teenager in the 90s. Grunge music, the whole Xer thing. So that's sort of my cultural experience, my age, kind of my pedigree. Yeah. So I remember in the late 90s, like I sort of, it started with like Christina Aguilera, like I'm a Genie in a Bottle, and then like Britney Spears and stuff. I just kind of was like, yeah, nah. Like, I don't know. I don't want to like tar all music from, let's say the 2000s with the same brush. That's totally bullshit to do that. But I just kind of like tuned out like a lot of popular culture. There's a lot of things like the way MTV was in the late 90s and early 2000s and stuff. And just certain things in the culture, I sort of like kind of tuned it out and stopped kind of paying attention. I sort of kept abreast of the latest news with Radiohead, but yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I think I'm very not millennial and more kind of Xer is that I actually sort of crawled under a rock in some sense culturally, starting like with I'm a Genie in a Bottle or whatever the other one was. Oops, I Did It Again. I think it whatever. Um, yeah, so I thought I'd talk about like music and video games just to kind of loosen up. So like video games, actually like my generation, like the way we were, um, because it's easy to sort of date me. You know, in '95 I was 15, in '85 I was 5. So the way we were as adolescents in the early '90s, video games were basically for kids. And so like when we got to like 14, 15, like grade 9 was a big deal. Going to grade 9 and suddenly, oh, I'm in high school. Like I'm not an adult, but I'm not a kid, right? That's kind of the mentality. So when we were like 14, 15, or whatever your age you are when you go to grade 9, we sort of stopped playing video games for the most part. Like we fuck around with NHLPA and F-Zero and stuff, but like we mostly didn't really play video games much. Like I sort of, me and my friends, like I wanted to, be a teenager and like get girlfriends and be a young man. So like it felt like the way the culture was at the time, video games weren't really something that you continued to play into adulthood. So we sort of felt like we didn't want to play video games. So it was a bit different from now. But video games. Actually, there is a video game that I play. It's called Zero AD. It's like Age of Empires. I actually remember the original Age of Empires. When I was a kid, there was actually an advertisement in the comic book section of the newspaper because they used to cut down trees, right? And they would turn the trees into paper, and then they would put ink on them. Anyways, so there was like the comic section. I would always read this every morning, and there was actually, with Calvin and Hobbes and The Far Side and For Better or For Worse. Then there was, it looked like a comic, but it was actually an ad for Age of Empires. I remember seeing this was the ad for the original Age of Empires. So I played the crap out of that game in the '90s. Yeah, so Zero AD, actually a lot of the people that made it worked on Age of Empires. It's really cool. I found it because I got tired of Windows, Microsoft, which is a whole other story, I guess, not for this video. But and so then I found Zero AD is a game that you can get it for free. You can get it for Windows, but you can also get it for Linux. So I downloaded that, and it's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a video game that I sometimes play. Music, this is like a drop in the bucket. Just I had some different ideas of like a sample of the different kinds of music. I listen to almost every kind of music. I guess I don't really listen to rap much, but I listen to almost every kind of music. So like, for example, you can like, this is kind of like the algorithm. Like I'm going to say stuff and then it's like a recommended. You know how I said I'm not a practical person? Yeah, it's, I've put off mowing my lawn and, the grass is sort of like long and there's like some weeds and stuff. So some guy comes and knocks on the door that, I do landscaping, cut grass. And it's like, oh yeah, thanks, dude. Like right when I'm recording this first fucking video. Fuck me. Okay, whatever. There's no point in getting angry about it. He was perfectly polite. And so was I. Yeah, I'll probably cut the grass tomorrow. Probably. Yeah, so the recommended videos, they're over here. Well, I'm going to tell you. Like, for example, like you can look up, like, there's this song called Seether by Veruca Salt, 95 at Glastonbury. Like that kind of music, like that's sort of like Xer, like 90s. like that's classic, like that's fucking like rock and roll. Um, I love Supreme. It was a friend of mine actually who's into all kinds of music, like jazz and stuff. John Coltrane. I don't know a lot about anything like rock, jazz, whatever, but yeah, I love Supreme. For some reason, I like listening to it when I'm making spaghetti and meatballs. Like when I literally, like the beginning of the second piece or movement or song or whatever of that album, like I have the ground pork and the ground beef and all the parmesan and everything, and I start mixing it together and making the meatballs. Like I like I like doing that while listening to A Love Supreme. I don't know, I'm weird. Um, yeah, Chet Baker is more jazz. My dad would listen to Chet Baker um, when he would cook, actually. So it just kind of stuck with me. It's nice, sort of atmospheric music. Peter Green, like I guess it's Fleetwood Mac, but the guitarist for Fleetwood Mac, Peter Green, I think is his name. I just found this, recommended to me once on YouTube. There's this song, I've Got a Good Mind to Give Up Living. And it's just like the fucking like the best guitar solo ever. Like it's fucking crazy. You got to check that out. It's actually an example of how I think like YouTube ads are truly evil, because I found there was a version of it I found on YouTube, and it's like right in the middle of this amazing guitar solo, and then a stupid fucking ad comes up, an interruption, and it's just like if it's just a crime against humanity, that they would put the ad like not at the beginning or the end, but right in the middle of this guitar solo. It is infuriating. Anyways, that's negative, but yeah, that song. Another example. I actually I like classical music too. I started listening to that when I was like 14 or something. Um, yeah, like Beethoven was my favorite when I was younger. Beethoven's music is sort of dramatic. Um, in my older age, I've come to appreciate Bach more. His music sort of like sometimes it seems like his music sounds like, excuse me, sometimes it sounds like a mathematical equation. And Mozart too. But Beethoven's music, there's a theme in his music of like kind of hope and joy sort of springing out of, darkness and despair. And I really sort of, that music was sort of written into my heart, I guess, when I was growing up, when my brain was still hardwiring. Yeah, there's a song called Scenic by a band called Ozion, I think it's pronounced. I like shoegazer music. I like slow dive. Some of that music's like kind of depressing, but I really like it. Slow dive or yeah, slow dive, Ozion. Yeah, they call it shoegazer music or dream pop. Vanessa Carlton. Like I don't know everything about her. The three songs, what were they? Ordinary Day was the big hit, and then there was no, A Thousand Miles was the big hit, and then Ordinary Day, and then White Houses, which in my opinion is her magnum opus. Uh, yeah, I really liked White Houses. Is sort of like it kind of reminds me of that. I've never heard the song, but you've heard the title of that Oasis song, Don't Look Back in Anger. And I sort of get that impression from like White Houses. Is like her music is very positive. It seems to me like she must be a really nice person. She doesn't have that song. It made me think like it's kind of like love without recrimination. It's just sort of like it's about love, and it's just about it's positive, and she's like grateful, and she doesn't have hatred in her heart or like anger. She doesn't look back in anger. I just always really liked. I get that feeling from her music. It's very positive music. Um, yeah, yeah. That song "Scenic," which I also recommend. It's like a lullaby. That's what I wanted to say about that. yeah, like hobbies. I don't know. Like I could list a lot of things. Um, I'm really into gardening and cooking, so obviously there's some synergy there. Uh, and you know, like I mentioned, cooking, I guess, with in connection with John Coltrane. You see, things are connected. Um, yeah, I really like gardening. I'm in a house now, so of course I can compost. I really like composting. I'm gonna have to. I'll get into this in future videos, but I'm gonna have to leave this house soon, in a matter of weeks, and I won't be in a house. I'll be in an apartment, I assume, and it's gonna be really weird for me. I can't imagine like not composting. Like some, I don't know, some of you are probably like that. I just can't imagine not composting. Like the kitchen scraps and whatever, and then like I put that in the compost, and I have some straw, and so I just mix it together and get some air into it and make sure it doesn't get too dry or overwater it, and it breaks down, and it's just like, and then when it's done composting, when it's ready, then you put it on your garden bed, and it's just like I have to build soil. Like I can't imagine not building soil. It's not something. It's like it's not a hobby. I do it. It's like going to the bathroom or something. It's just a basic thing. So it's really gonna suck to not be able to compost. Yeah. Okay. So I'm reasonably loosened up now. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break. Oh yeah, these videos I'm gonna upload them to this YouTube channel I just started, and it's gonna be I'm gonna leave them as unlisted, and I think I'm not gonna make them public for probably a few weeks, a few days before I leave, or a few days before I arrive, I guess. Yeah, so these are being filmed in like whatever mid-July, but they're probably gonna be made public, I think, in late. Sorry, it's June now. Yeah, mid-June. So, but they'll probably be made public in late July. It's mid-June right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna upload this and whatever, and I'm gonna take a break, uh, and then we're gonna do part two, and we're gonna go into the darkness. But remember what I said. You're gonna be okay. Okay.